Hello there, welcome to Quintrex. My name's Cameron and today I want to tell you a little bit about the history of our business. Who's my friend, do you ask? Well, this is Terry Quantrell. He's the father of Quintrex. He's the founder, if you like. He's a philanthropist, a war serviceman, an environmentalist, if you will. He came back from the war, he was in his 30s, he was born in 1913. And he came back, to a place of sadness and depression and rationing and hardships, places where families had been split up. And what he wanted to do was to bring those families back together again, bring some fun and joy back into life. So he set about thinking about boating. I mean, here he was at Kirrawee, he had Port Botany, he had Port Jackson, Hawkesbury River area, all that water around the place for people to go and enjoy themselves. And he thought, well, I'm going to start developing a boat. So by developing the boat and putting it and testing it, he got together with Peter Hunt. Peter Hunt, you might know from Hunt's Marine, a business that started itself back in 1946 in Sydney there. And he started testing the boats. They ran the boats with their families. Peter had a young family, Terry had a young family. And over time they developed the boats. They tested them together, and there's some beautiful black and white photographs of them testing the boats, and you'll see the developments of them all. In about 1962, Terry looked for a bit of innovation, and he developed a process called stretch forming, which basically meant he created a die, and with the aluminium he could stretch form that aluminium to a curved shape, so not unlike his shoulder here. Whereas traditionally aluminium is in straight, so straight aluminium, it's straight, you can't move it, so with a curve in there it meant that when it went through the water, it was able to throw the water away. So we got this really dry ride. So all of a sudden these ladies in their beautiful dresses could get out of the boats and enjoy the water. So that was a great innovation. It certainly changed modern boating. Towards the end of the 60s and 70s, he was looking for his great next leap forward. So he looked to move to the Gold Coast and started making boats there. Over a period of time, one of his suppliers decided that he might like to buy the business, and as multinationals did in those heady days of 70s and 80s, they purchased the business from Terry and I guess made him an offer he couldn't refuse. So he stepped back and went on and did a few different things, and this multinational started making the boats, and look, they did okay for a while, but I guess the marketing, the relationship, the sales side, boating is a personal business, it's much more about people than it is about a product, and I think they missed that point. So when they decided to focus on their core businesses, boating was the first to go. So they put it up for sale, and a businessman named Bruce Shepherd from Mackay, he saw the ad and thought, oh gee, they've got some machinery, they've got a bit of this and a bit of that. I reckon what I could do is buy the stuff, pay nothing for the business itself, buy all the equipment and sell it all off and make a little bit of money. So he came down, and on the day he was doing his inventory, he met this character called Paul Phelan. Nice bloke, a guy who sort of knew his manufacturing side of the stuff, and as it turned out, he was making great money building the boats with his team of welders, while the guys out the front couldn't even sell them. So Bruce and Paul decided, well, hang on a minute, if you know how to put the front end together, I know how to put the back end together, we've got a business here. I'll give the systems, the accounting, the sales and the processes. And Paul said, oh, well, I can do the manufacturing. So together they formed, Quintrex Australia.
I love the people, not the people we work for. I work with our customers. We've got a very good friendship with lots of dealers that we supply. Life's all about people, and that's what I enjoy about this business.
Over the next 8 to 10 years they developed the brand, and then about 1999 they had outgrown their current premises, and we moved here to the Gold Coast Marine Precinct, where we sit on 10 acres, 5 of which are under roof, where we've got the 3 factories where the boats are actually manufactured. So from there, what they did was they looked at their premises, they developed, they got more and more key staff, they embodied their staff with the ability to make decisions and become innovative themselves. And from there they then got to about the year 2000, and they needed something different. Terry had done that flared bow back in '62, that made it a really dry ride. But the thing about tinnies was they did still pound, they still made that bang, bang through the water. A lot of people didn't like that because they were nice and light. But so what they did was they used Terry's techniques of stretch forming, and they came up with the Millennium Hull. And what that was, it's a stretch form again, but it's the underneath, it's those bottom sheets. So when the boat lands in the water, it doesn't land with a bang, it lands with this beautiful curve, so it's a nice soft. So now all of a sudden they've got this brilliant boat, great name, Australian made, soft riding and dry. And that's gone on fantastically. So over the next few years, things just really boomed. I mean, 2005 was a fantastic year. About 15,000 boats in all, 330 staff. I mean, things were just going fantastically well. And then, of course, the global financial challenge in 2008. Well, you know, overnight, we all had to adjust everything. Things went terribly. You know, we dropped more than half our staff. It was good people who had to be let go just to keep the business running. Pretty sad and tough time for the guys. You know, they were trying to work through, keep things rolling along. So we gradually shortened it, we tightened our belts. And then over the next few years, we started clawing our way back again, you know, building up the business. About 2013, we made the next significant change, and that was the blade hull. So we had that beautiful millennium hull, which gave it a soft ride. The blade hull actually takes it just a touch sharper, so we've got a steeper stem line, and that allows us for this much sharper entry. So as customers are using their boats out and about in swells that are bigger and weather that's nastier, they're now able to get this still same soft, dry ride that they got from the millennium hull, but in bigger and badder seas, if you like. So that was a major change in 2013. So here we are, nearly the end of 2014, and you know, Terry's still here sitting with us. Doesn't say an awful lot, does he? Still regal and so on. What we come out with is behind me here, the 70th year. I mean, 70 years of an Australian-made company, still built here on the Gold Coast in Australia. 240 of us here, just knocking the little boats out with 60 dealers around Australia. So, look, hope that's given you a bit of an insight into our product and our brand, and we're really proud. We're proud we're Australian, we're proud we've been going for 70 years, and realistically, if you're thinking about a boat, remember if it's not a Quinny, it's just another dirty tin.